For my prevention, intervention, and consultation presentation, I have chosen an organization called REACH that will be Partners Against Human Trafficking. The mission statement of REACH is to provide hope for healing, personal development, and future achievement that's centered in Christ. Our goal is to offer rescued victims a program of healing and community reintegration through a range of services and initiatives. REACH educates people of all ages on prevention, awareness, and intervention, in addition to offering therapeutic services and a secure environment for survivors. First, we'll discuss international trafficking. Human trafficking, also called trafficking in persons, has no place in our world. As both a grave crime and a human rights abuse, it compromises national and economic security, undermines the rule of law, and harms well-being individuals and the communities everywhere. It is a crime of exploitation. Traffickers profit at the expense of their victims by compelling them to perform labor or to engage in commercial sex in every region of the United States and around the world. With an estimated 24.9 million victims worldwide at any given time, human traffickers prey on adults and children of all ages, backgrounds, and nationalities, exploiting them for their own profit. In 2020, it is estimated that 42% of sex trafficked victims were brought into trafficking by a member of their own families, and 39% were recruited via an intimate relationship or a marriage proposition. Americans are the top consumers and producers of child pornography in the world. The internet has created a world for sex traffickers that enables them to bring their business to any screen across the world, regardless of their physical location. America is also one of the top hosts of child porn sites. America was estimated to host over 50% of commercialized, illegal child pornography websites worldwide. Many Americans are in denial that human trafficking happens here. Child sex trafficking is generally overlooked by many in America. This needs to change, considering that an estimated 250,000 children are being trafficked here on American soil. As the demand for pornography increases, so does the supply. Porn directly fuels the demand for sexual exploitation, and it can sometimes be recorded evidence of sex trafficking. The consumption of porn in an increasingly sexualized culture has been linked to an increase in the human trafficking industry because victims of trafficking are often used in the making of pornography. Research has shown that pornography use is correlated with physical changes in the brain. The visual stimulus of pornography hijacks the brain's reward system and overwhelms it with an unnatural prolonged dopamine level. The result is the brain physically deteriorating in shape, size, and chemical balance. While it's seemingly impersonal and scientific, these effects in the brain impact us on a personal level. The changes in our brain from pornography corresponds with changes in our mood, personality, and the way we treat others. Pornography's impact starts in the brain and then proceeds to trickle down to the heart before streaming into our world. At REACH, our main goal would be to provide Christ-centered therapy and care for victims of sexual assault and trafficking. The good news is everyone's support is important to help fight against the horrific world of sex trafficking, educating ourselves on the places, the science, and how trafficking happens. There are hundreds of organizations around the world fighting for these victims, and many continue to be rescued. The REACH case managers and therapeutic treatment teams would be here to assist, whether the need is for a safe place to stay, parenting education, or rigorous therapy combating PTSD. The primary concern of REACH would be the healing of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and abuse victims by assisting our survivors in confronting traumas, learning coping mechanisms, and developing skills necessary for a successful reintegration through life skills, artistic pursuits, and enjoyment. Prevention. Human trafficking is the second largest criminal industry, and I believe that awareness can change that. REACH would offer educational classes in schools, churches, and social groups, equipping children and young people with tools to identify trafficking of humans. REACH would not only work towards educating the community through awareness, it would also aim to bring education to survivors of trafficking. Regardless of the survivor's age, REACH would provide tutors that can assist educational support and help clients reach their full potential. Through this education, survivors would be better equipped to face life and provide themselves with the proper tools to avoid falling back into human trafficking. Next is intervention. REACH would work with individuals who find themselves in exploitative or trafficking situations. Understanding that most victims find themselves addicted to illegal substances, REACH would work to bring freedom by connecting victims to addiction rehabilitation programs. Lastly, we have consultation. In addition to our prevention and intervention resources, REACH would also have partnered with the Red Door, a group of Christian counselors endorsed and sponsored by the ALJC, dedicated to helping clients overcome severe traumatic experiences and restore them to fully functioning members of society. REACH would offer a number of integration classes, teaching basic life skills and connecting members to loving and supportive people, providing resources to achieve independent housing goals, financial goals, or education goals. REACH would help with resources in addiction, recovery, and support groups, or connect with local churches and organizations for support and ways to give back. Here are some classes that would be offered by REACH. First, group therapy classes. Therapy is one of the most important components in the healing process. REACH would partner with trauma therapists across the nation ready to help victims of all ages, genders, and backgrounds at no charge to the victim. Families of victims can receive the same level of care in person at our facility or through virtual meetings. Life skill classes. Life skills are abilities that enable us to deal with the challenges of life. REACH would teach things like boundaries, communication, relationships, financial management, parenting, surviving bullying, anger management, and more. Additionally, we would offer Connect classes. Having fun and learning to laugh again is part of the healing process. Join REACH for hiking, painting, tips, trips to the museum, movie nights, music lessons, pottery classes, etc. REACH is here to offer a safe space to let your guard down and connect with others. Finally, we have home economic classes. REACH would welcome members of the community who volunteer their time for monthly classes teaching productive classes of their choice. These classes would include life and home skills such as cooking, cleaning, sewing, personal hygiene, finance and budgeting, childcare, relationships, healthy boundaries, visual arts, and more. The heart of REACH would be based on biblical principles found in Psalms 82, Proverbs 31, Isaiah 61, Ezekiel 34, and more. Those mentioned in the above scriptures are the reason we would reach for every person victimized by trafficking. The men, women, and children who are brave enough to speak up and strong enough to reach out deserve the best resources for healing REACH can provide. And then I have my works cited page. Thank you so much for watching.